Hey guys, want to make a quick video today. Since I haven't been teaching photography for a long time, I don't get a lot of people asking me questions like I did in those days, but the one question that I do get on a semi-regular basis is people wanting to know about stock photography. And I'm in the process of making a video on how to get started, my insights on stock photography and how to get started. But I want to do a quick video before that that I've been putting together about my stock photography workflow, how I go through from shooting the images, getting them into the computer, and what I do from there step by step, all the way to sending them off to the stock agencies. So I've kind of put together some screenshots as I'm going through the process, but real quick, I'll kind of lay it out here, but then I'll recap at the end. I take the pictures, I put them into the computer, I back them up on an external hard drive, so they're immediately in three places. They're on the compact flash card, my desktop, and then on an external hard drive. From there, I work on the images that are on my desktop, go through, pick the ones I like, I process them, I put them in a folder called Waiting to Keyword, because for stock photography, you've got to keyword everything, which what keywording is giving them tags, if you will, that kind of describe the shot. And I'll show you how I do all of that. Once everything is keyworded, I then move all the images into individual folders for each agency that I'm involved with. And then from there, I upload them to the agencies themselves. So I will walk you through that process and hopefully make a little bit of sense as to how I do the workflow. By all means, tweak it as you see fit to meet your needs. And hopefully this will be a good start as to how to deal with your photo shoots and your images to get ready to go to the stock agencies, because the next video I'm going to do hopefully will help you get started if you haven't already gotten into this. Enjoy the video. I will recap at the end. Okay guys, so once I have taken my compact flash card or the SD card, whatever you happen to have, when I take that from the camera, download it into the computer onto a folder that I call stock shoots, and I have 2019, and in the case that I'm about to show you, I did a series of photographs of dogwood trees. So I download the images into this folder. Once they've downloaded, I now have it in two places. I've got it on the card from the camera. I now have it on my desktop. And then I come over here to the left over here to my external hard drive, which I named Max, and this happens to be the second one, so Max 2. There is a folder in here called Stock Shoots 2019, and I copy the same images over here to the external hard drive. So now all these images are in three places. On the one on my desktop, which is over here on this right window, I've created a folder called Processed, and I brought this into Bridge, and you can do this in Lightroom, you can do it in Bridge. I tend to do both. In this case I've done this in the Bridge, and I marked all of the keepers with a red dot here, and I've processed all of them except for this last one, and I'm going to show you how I do this. And again, you can do this in Lightroom. I'm doing it in Photoshop this time. When it comes to my stock workflow, I do not change the images a great deal. I mean, not a lot of presets and actions and, funky glows and vintage colors and, things like that. I will almost always up the contrast a little bit, maybe up the exposure a little bit on this one. And since this is a colorful image, I'm going to give it a little bit of saturation, but not crazy. See, I didn't change those very much at all. Maybe bring the whites up just a little bit so that it pops. My thinking with a stock image, that I don't want to do a lot of creativity to it. A lot of artists artistic work to it, because I want to make it the most saleable image to the most potential people that I possibly can. And if I've done a lot of work to it, I'm going to create a look that might not appeal to everybody. This is just clean and for the most part straight out of the camera. And if somebody does want to do something to it, vintage color or turn it black and white or whatever, they can do that. But that's kind of a specialty thing. And I don't want to make that choice for a buyer. I want to make it as potentially saleable to as many people as possible. Okay, so from here, I have an action that I do unsharp mask. I sharpen it just ever so slightly, and then I immediately am going to save it into that processed folder as a Photoshop document. So on the desktop, under my stock images, the dogwood shoot, come down here to process, save it as a Photoshop file. Now I always make a new layer. I'm going to just go through here and clean it up. There's, if there's any weirdness to it, if I have any dust on my sensor, I'm going to clean that up. In a shot like this, it's really hard to detect anything. Sometimes you can see any little dust or scratches or anything. Any weirdness on the leaves that, or the petals that might be a distraction. Like right here, I might take that guy out and that guy out. But for the most part, these images are pretty clean. Flatten the two layers, save it one more time, and then I am going to save it as a JPEG because that's what the agencies are going to want. They're going to want me to upload it as a JPEG. And I have created a folder on my desktop. I put it under... I have a folder called Stock Images, and in there is Waiting to Keyword. So I'm going to put it in the Waiting to Keyword folder as a JPEG. I'm going to leave the quality at the maximum. I don't want it to compress it any more than it has to. Just for the sake of quality, click OK and close the image. And then we'll go on to keyword it. So once I have all of the images processed and put into the folder that I call Waiting to Keyword, I'm going to drag this folder into the bridge. Now you can do this in Lightroom. I have just done it in the bridge since the beginning of doing stock photography, and so it's kind of just the habit that I've gotten into. Do it however feels right to you and is going to work for your workflow. But ultimately, what we're trying to achieve in this stage is going to be the same. So I need to keyword these images, and when I say I need to keyword them, what I need to do is assign words that describe the image that are going to be part of the metadata when these images go to the stock agency, so that when buyers are searching for images, hopefully they will be using words that are going to bring them to these images. So if somebody was wanting to purchase an image of dogwood trees, they might search, pink dogwood, and hopefully this image would come up. So we're gonna assign that. But first things first, I'm gonna put my name under the creator. I always do my name underscore the year I photographed it, and then I'm going to come down to keywords. Now you could just make up keywords, pink, comma, dogwood, comma, and add them manually. That's a lot of work, in my humble opinion. So I have found keywording tools over the years on the internet that make this a whole lot easier. This one happens to be at microstockgroup.com. And what it comes up is a window that looks like this, Microstock Keywording Tool. Search the terms. And I'm just going to do one or two words that kind of describe the image that I'm working with. I'm going to images to load 25, because what it's going to do is it's going to pull up similar images to mine, hopefully, I'm doing photos, not illustrations and vectors, and I'm going to submit. Okay, so it's pulled up a bunch of images from, looks like they're from Shutterstock, that are similar to probably the image that I did based on the word pink dogwood. And I'm going to just go around and click on images that sort of resemble the one that I'm keywording. Now, if you do something super unique, you might have a harder time trying to come up with this. But I really think this is a great way to help you get started on the keywording. And I'm going to pick these 4, click submit. And what happens is a bunch of words come up here on the left that have been compiled from those 4 images that I selected. So I'm going to go through and click on the ones that I feel are appropriate for my image, which should be most of them, maybe not all of them. And think big, be very open-minded, because we can use, most agencies will allow you to have 50 keywords. Plant, flora, close-up, natural, I mean, they all seem to be, I don't know that mine, yellow has any real significance to mine. Date, springtime. Sometimes if it said blossom and now it says blossoms with an S, some agencies will say, hey, you're duplicating here, but let's just run with that. Georgia tree, I mean, that's something I wouldn't have thought of on my own. Didn't we do close-up up here? Close-up here and then close-up with a space. Like I said, some agencies I think might say that's repetitive and make you take one of them out. There's his dogwood trees. Yeah, let's take that one off and do dogwood tree. Season. Okay, so there's 47 keywords, which I think pretty aptly describe what the image that I did. So I just simply select them all, copy, Command C, come back over here to the bridge, and on the image that we're working on, I'm going to go into keywords, paste those, and we'll call that good. So that's 9565. So I'll show you the next step of what I'm doing here. I'm going to apply that. Now once I have keyworded every image, in this case I'm working on, what is that, 9 images. Once I've keyworded all of them, what I then do is, here's my waiting to keyword folder. There's the 9 images. I come over here to Max, which is my external hard drive. And in that, on that external hard drive, I have a folder called Total Portfolio. Now this is every stock image I've ever done, and whether they're accepted by the agency or not, I put it in this Total Portfolio. So I'm going to copy these over here. Once they go there, I've got them saved once again in their finished stage, keyworded and everything. I come over here to the desktop, and back in this same stock images folder, which also has the keywording folder, I have a folder called agencies. And I upload to 6 different agencies. So I am going to copy these images. And if you see 123RF is not my favorite these days. I've got a lot to upload to them that I just haven't, simply because they've kind of stopped reviewing them. But I'm going to take these 9 images, I'm going to add it to there, and what I'm going to do is copy these images over to all the agencies. Going a little slower than I would like, but we'll be patient. going here. Okay, and once they're all copied over there, I actually can pitch them from the waiting to keyword because now they're done. And they are now sitting in all 6 of the stock agencies that I work with, waiting to be uploaded to each agency. Once I've got all the images in each folder based on each stock agency, what I now need to do is upload them. So if you notice over here on my browser, I am logged into Shutterstock. I've clicked the upload images and it says to drag and drop your files here. For the sake of showing you this, I'm just going to do one of them. Let's do this one dogwood image which is in the Shutterstock folder. We'll come down here to this particular dogwood file. Now I could grab all of them at once and do it. And what I found is that you can do 4 or 5 or even 10 pretty easily if you have a decent internet connection. And I've not really had a real problem with that. I mean, you can watch how fast this will come up. So up it comes. I hit next. It's taking a little bit longer. Your uploaded folders will, okay, I'm going to refresh this now. There it is. If I'd have done multiples, they'd all be here and I could grab them. I could grab multiple at a time. But once I click on it, it's going to ask for some information over here. And if you notice, all the keywords that we assign to it are already here. And I could add more if for some, and it's going to suggest some things. Fresh, white, orchid. I could add a couple more, and if you see, it'll give me, I've done 45 out of 50. But to walk through this, it's a photo, commercial use as opposed to editorial. And I can explain that. I've explained that in some other videos, I think. But this is a commercial image. There's nothing. There's no branding. There's no recognizable people in it or places, things like that. I'm going to give it a description, at least 5 words. So pink dogwood blooms in springtime. Now, this is an area that I think maybe I need to work on. I don't know if it needs to be a longer sentence. I do it pretty basic. Pink dogwood blooms in springtime. So if anybody knows, hey, you would benefit by saying shot in direct sunlight, or I don't know. If any input would be greatly helpful there to me. I'm going to pick a category. I think sometimes this is pretty obvious. I think nature, and as a second one, I'm going to do parks and outdoor. Some of the agencies, I think the categories are a little trickier. Sometimes, like I'll do wedding photos, and one of the agencies doesn't even have a wedding section. So, think that through. Pick the best category you can come up with. In this case, I don't need any model releases. Everything should be good. So I simply click submit, and there it is. I'm back to the screen that says I can upload more if I want to. And if you look here, it'll say pending. This is now waiting to be reviewed. And that's all there is to it. As far as my end of it, I'm just going to wait for them to approve or disapprove it, hopefully approve it, and then watch the sales come in. All right, so that's it. It's not much more difficult than that. My workflow, I try to keep it the exact same every single time. The only variation that I will do is sometimes I will process things in Lightroom. Other times I'll just process it through the bridge in Photoshop like I did today. Really, that comes down to how many images am I working with. Lightroom is very good at dealing with you know, large quantities of images. But you know, do what works best for you, what you're comfortable in, and yeah, I don't have a preference. You know, like I said, do what works for you. The biggest part of stock photography and the whole workflow part of it that I would advise is just know it's going to take a little bit of time, and the more you do it, the more often you do it, you're going to get more efficient with it. And I hope this helped a little bit. If there are comments that you want to make about, you know, maybe things that you see could be done differently, things you do yourself, things that could make the whole process better, I am totally open for hearing it. You could help me out. Maybe I could do something that's a little more efficient and faster, because, you know, who wants to spend tons and tons of time on the computer if you don't have to? Guys, I appreciate you watching. As always, leave a comment, a like, tell your friends, subscribe. Thanks for the support. Bye.